So yeah, in celebration of the decanonization of Discovery from the Prime universe of Star Trek, we're going and revisiting some really good old Treks. And we did a DS9 earlier. We did another one. Not that we're belaboring Deep Space Nine, but it was such a really good show.
It was a solid series.
It really was.
Out of all of them.
So, but we just sat through Blood Oath, which one of my favorites.
Season 2, episode 19.
Yeah, one of my favorites because it featured
Kang,
3 old enemies of Kirk.
Kang, Kor, and Koloth.
Kang, Koloth, and Kor, played by the actors who played him in the original series, in the contemporary makeup and everything, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
Loved the episode. I did, and their connection with Dax,
yes,
who had a relationship with them as Curzon, and even had taken a blood oath with them. And
yes,
this was the episode about this blood oath to go take revenge upon
the albino.
This albino who had
is the albino a Klingon?
No, he wasn't, was he?
It didn't look like it.
No, and he even said something like,
Klingon
"Get this
filth.
Klingon filth out of here." Yeah.
Yeah, so
unclear what species he was.
Okay.
But
see, if we did the research, we might know about it, but that doesn't...
But that's just too much like work.
No. No, I don't mind that, but it's like, it's not...
No,
it's not so integral
I don't know
to the story.
Ever really... like specified or identified.
Yeah. He looked quasi-Klingon.
They just called him the albino.
Yeah.
And they all had a vendetta with him because they had
killed their firstborn.
Killed their firstborn. Yeah.
So
and Curzon was Kang's child's godfather.
And like I told you before, I have watched this show so many times. So many times. This is like you in Star Wars.
Right. And
only like in the last 5 years did I notice at the beginning of the episode, when he's coming out of the holosuite, the door swoosh sound.
Right, yeah.
It sounded like the Enterprise.
The original old
TOS, yes. And I'm just like, wow.
But no, I loved it for so many reasons. I mean, especially Michael Ansara, William Campbell, John Colicos, all reprising their roles.
Yeah.
And
Dax in his cute little battle outfit.
In the contemporary Klingon makeup, which was before, the Tribbles episode crossover, and before Enterprise, where they explained away the smooth foreheads.
Yes.
It was as if these Klingons had always looked like this.
Yes.
Which was Paramount's official stance.
At the time.
At the time, yes.
Which I think it still even works, because I didn't like that Enterprise episodes. Those episodes. Those were kind of wonky. They were.
It wasn't necessary.
No.
And
I think the Deep Space Nine, the 30th anniversary, explains it the best. It's complicated, and I don't want to talk about it.
Right, we don't talk about it without worlders. Yes, they're Klingons, and no, we don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think it was that episode and that moment that prompted them to try to explain it away in Enterprise.
Oh.
I really think that's what led to it.
But it didn't need to be.
Because
of all the technical shit that we complain about.
Right.
That doesn't matter, because it doesn't.
No, because all the way back to Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Yes.
With the redesigned Klingons in that, which didn't last, but they did still have the foreheads. But, with the vertebrae that came all the way around. Their Paramount's official word when the first movie was released in 1979 was that Klingons have always looked like this. It was just a TV show in the 60s. We didn't have the budget or the resources to do this kind of makeup with the Klingons. So for all intents and purposes, Klingons have always looked like this. And when you watch the show, just use your imagination and imagine them looking like this.
Yeah.
And that was their official word.
Yeah.
Forever. Until the DS9 Tribble crossover one, where they kind of had to address it, but they didn't have to.
They addressed it perfectly.
Yes.
No need for that Enterprise episode.
And Worf with the little hat that covered his forehead.
Yes.
It reminded me of all the times that Spock wore a little beanie
Cover
or
his
something
ears,
to cover his ears. You know, yeah.
Well, double dumbass on you, right?
Right. What does it mean? Exact change only.
Oh, fuck.
No, man. So, yeah, we're just, again, celebrating the decanonization by going back and revisiting some really good Star Trek.
Right?
And DS9 was really good Star Trek. Probably the best series.
It was.
In many ways, it was even better than the Next Gen. And even though the Next Gen, I got a special place in my heart for it because it was the next generation and brought Star Trek back to TV.
But
and
this is the superior series.
But it's a better show overall. I mean, we're just sitting there scanning through
and we're trying to
seasons,
find just certain ones, and they're like, oh, no, that one.
But that one.
Yeah.
And they're good. I mean, no, Deep Space Nine was
the best series. I'm going to put it right up there with the original, TOS.
Yeah, it just really surprised me because I wasn't looking forward to it.
Now, see, that's weird because I didn't care. When it premiered the 2-hour movie, I'm like, it's Star Trek. That's all that mattered.
Right.
That's all that mattered.
Well, that's all that mattered to me, too. That's why I gave it a chance.
Yeah.
But I was like how are they going to do Star Trek on a stationary space station?
See, you were overthinking it.
It's Star Trek. These are the voyages. That's, you know, but no, it was really good.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way about Voyager, too. I'm like, what are we going to do? Lost in Space in Star Trek world?
I wish it was Lost in Space.
Because and the thing about Voyager was I dug the characters and I dug the cast and
even Captain Hillary.
Yeah.
Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. I made some nerd cry about that.
The situation they were in, I just wish that it was something that, you know,
more real,
not being lost in the Delta Quadrant and trying to find their way home and all that. I was like, how long are they going to sustain this? You know. And, I mean, really, took them half the first season just to get away from the Kazon.
Which
I mean, really, if they were beelining it maximum warp back to the Alpha Quadrant, they would have left them in the dust in a week.
Long time ago, yeah.
But they kept coming across these Kazon all season. I'm like, get away.
And it was the same sect.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if Seska gave them transwarp technology. There's no fucking way they could have... Oh, my God. Don't even get me started. That's not what we're here to talk about.
Again, though, I did like the characters, though. I liked Neelix. I liked Tuvok. I liked, what's his name? Chakotay. You know? That's what kept me watching the show, was the characters. But what they were going through, no. And, but no, Deep Space Nine, this one in particular, I mean, really... In the first 2 seasons of of Deep Space Nine, they had more references to the original series and connections to the original series than Next Gen had through the whole 7 seasons.
And they had 3 original crew members.
And good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, good connections. When the Mirror Universe, and this one with the Klingons, and then the triple crossover one.
And then just constant references to Star Trek.
To events of the original series, like they were events that happened that were common knowledge and that they would talk about, and they never really brought much of anything like that up on the Next Gen. It was almost like they purposefully avoided it.
Yeah.
Except for the times when they specifically had McCoy, Scotty, Spock, Sarek, whatever. But even those were not as
enriching or fulfilling.
No, as it
should have been.
As the DS9 ones.
Yes.
They were more more fulfilling, like you said.
Yeah.
And no, Deep Space Nine, probably easily the best of the Star Trek series, contemporary in the Next Gen continuity, you know.
Yeah.
It was overall even better than the Next Gen was.
It was. You gotta you gotta pull that Band-Aid and just say, it is.
Yeah. And it was sad that they had to get the axe after 7 seasons because they couldn't outlast their predecessor. Because their predecessor went to the big screen.
Whoop-de-doo.
Hello? Come on, man. It could have gone on longer than it did.
Yeah.
And I would have still watched.
So let us know what you think about the episode.
Blood Oath, man. One of my favorites. What did you think? If you've seen it, if you haven't, look it up, man. It's really good.
And with that, like, share, and